Hi, my name is Paula Sturm, and I'm a registered dietitian and a functional medical nutritionist. And I also am a master NLP coach. And I am doing some quick tips for people to get some quick information to help support your health. I generally work with people with a lot of autoimmune conditions, gut health, and hormonal imbalances. So my tips are really going to focus in on people that are touched by any of those situations or conditions. Today, we're going to talk about anti-inflammatory foods and their benefits, briefly talk about this. It can be a big topic, but giving you some quick tips to take into consideration with following an anti-inflammatory diet. And it's important when you have an autoimmune condition to think about inflammation because inflammation and your immune system are intricately connected. So an anti-inflammatory diet can help reduce inflammation by providing all the nutrients that your body needs to support your immune system and to help your body manage inflammation, which can be at the root of a lot of those chronic conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or Crohn's disease or any of those other autoimmune conditions. An anti-inflammatory diet can improve your gut health. It will help by eliminating some of those foods that might be creating gut inflammation or exacerbating some inflammation or leaky gut that's already present. So we're giving your body the foods that it needs to heal and taking out the foods that might be there exacerbating some conditions. And an anti-inflammatory diet can help improve and enhance your immune function. It helps by reducing a lot of those inflammatory foods that we will talk about and increasing a lot of your nutrient-dense foods. And a lot of those nutrient-dense foods also provide really high anti-inflammatory benefits and really support your immune system, which is what we're trying to do with an autoimmune condition. An anti-inflammatory diet just promotes overall health in general. So even if you don't have an autoimmune condition or gut health issues or hormonal imbalances, even if you have something like high cholesterol or if you have blood sugar issues, it is still important to follow a anti-inflammatory diet because this is going to be the most health promoting. So here are some foods to include with an anti-inflammatory diet. Lots of fruits and vegetables, really nothing in that category in the produce section is something that I want to take off limits. So if somebody comes to me and they're asking me, well, can I eat bananas or can I eat sweet potatoes? Yes, absolutely. You can have those. Now, there is one little exception, especially if somebody has an autoimmune condition. Sometimes, and not 100%, but sometimes somebody might have a sensitivity to nightshades, and those include a few of the vegetables like bell peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, potatoes, goji berries, spicy peppers. Those things you'll want to avoid. If I didn't say eggplant are something that you want to avoid at least for a short period of time and then trial reintroducing it to see how it impacts you. Did your arthritis or autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis symptoms go down or go away or get significantly improved? Then when you added them back in, did those symptoms get worse? That might be your indication that you might have some sensitivities there. And maybe it's not the whole line of nightshades. Maybe it's one or two. Maybe it's just tomatoes or something on that order. So it's important to just rule some of those things out. But for the most part, berries, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, arugula, are really important to include into your diet as often as possible, daily if you can. So anything brightly colored. So make sure that your plate looks super colorful. That's really what we're aiming for, is a lot of that color. Then we want to talk about healthy fats. We really want to hone in on things like omega-3 fats and monounsaturated fats coming from olive oil and avocados and avocado oil. Macadamia nuts are rich in monounsaturated fats as well. Omega-3s like fish, seafood, chia seeds, flax seeds, those types of foods are where you're going to want to get the majority of your fats. Other things that you want to include into your diet are whole grains. Now, I do recommend, at least for a short period of time, especially people with autoimmunity, to go gluten-free at least for an 8-week period of time, just to see if when you add it back, again, does it exacerbate any of your symptoms? But other whole grains like quinoa and brown rice, millet, buckwheat, gluten-free oats, those are important things to have in your diet because they provide a lot of fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. So include some of those in your meals. And then really make sure you're using the medicine cabinet that's in your kitchen, your herbs and your spices. So if you have fresh herbs growing in your garden or out on your patio, utilizing those, making pestos or different sauces, or throwing them into your soups, or making little cubes in your freezer with some oil to throw in different dishes, using cumin and coriander and curry powders and chili powders and ginger and turmeric and garlic. All of those herbs and spices are massively anti-inflammatory, and even small amounts can be really powerful in providing health benefits. So utilize those herbs and spices. Plus, they make your food taste good, and we really want to have tasty food. Some things to exclude in an anti-inflammatory diet are processed and refined sugars. So really looking at the things coming in your diet, like soda or candy or pastries or pie or ice cream or chocolate. Chocolate's a big one for people, and, a little bit of chocolate here and there. We don't want to say never ever have any of these things, but a lot of times I find we're over consuming these types of things, and those refined sugars can promote inflammation and lead to GI distress and lead to imbalances in your cortisol, blood sugar, energy, and interrupt your sleep. And so it can be a vicious cycle. So we want to evaluate the sugars coming into our diet and look at ways that we can best support our blood sugar and our insulin response. And those things are really important when we're looking at health overall. Then looking also at refined carbohydrates. So sugar does fall in that category, as well as things like white foods, not all white foods, but things like white bread, white pasta, white flour, sugar, white rice. So any of those things fitting into that category, we want to take into consideration. Anything in that refined, processed, ultra processed foods like cereals and most breads and white pastas, those types of things. Oftentimes we're over consuming those things as well, and that can contribute to blood sugar spikes, which can increase inflammation and make you feel lethargic and start taking away a lot of the room where we can add in more anti-inflammatory foods like fruits and vegetables. Another thing to look at is trans fats and hydrogenated oils and omega-6 seed oils. So trans fats like partially hydrogenated and hydrogenated oils, sometimes seen in things like typical peanut butters, a lot of times, and in margarines, a lot of times those have been taken out, but you can still find them in a lot of foods. So pay attention to that. And then even look on some items that say, oh, trans fat free. It might still say 0, but if in the ingredient label you see hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oil in the ingredient list, that's something you're going to want to put back on the shelf and find one that doesn't have that. Then you're also going to want to look at omega-6 seed oils and reduce their consumption. So things like canola oil, soy oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil, peanut oil, and soy oil, trying to reduce and eliminate those. We oftentimes can't eliminate them completely, and especially if we do have to eat out, it's really hard to avoid those, but at least trying to avoid them in your home is a great place to at least start, and choose more of the olive oils and the avocado oils in your home. And then, as I was alluding to a little bit earlier, the nightshade vegetables sometimes can irritate people. Dairy can sometimes be inflammatory for people, as can gluten and corn, sometimes soy as well. So those are things that I like to evaluate with people and maybe trial eliminate them for a period of time, reintroducing them one at a time, just to see if they do impact you and make your symptoms worse. You can just understand a little bit what might be triggering your inflammation by just doing a simple elimination diet. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you found those tips something you can implement into your own life. And thank you for joining.